outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. already know how I'm coming, man. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mind struck, start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them doors on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me when the C tune into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the episode 212 of Vitamin G Podcast. I have with me today my glorious crew of Nappy, Omar, and Zero. I think Jube is running a little bit behind, but he'll show up. So I'm gonna kick this off to see what you guys been playing. Let's kick it off with Zero. What you been playing?
What is going on, everybody? Honestly, not a lot. Life has just been busy, so I haven't had much time to game. Street Fighter 6, a little bit of Remnant 2. Largely that's honestly it, man. It's been kind of a slow game week for me. Went and saw Oppenheimer. That's awesome. That's great.
Okay. How'd you like the building of the nuclear bomb?
Oh, it was awesome. I probably my favorite Chris Nolan movie that he's ever made.
Okay.
It's definitely 3 hours, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours. That makes sense. Some movies drag on. It's like, why is this not done yet? Oppenheimer, it was good all the way through. Highly recommend it. But yeah, man, that's largely it. Got back into a bit of Live Alive because I never completely finished it. So wrapping that up, trying to wrap up some of my RPGs before Super Mario RPG and Star Ocean drop. So that's pretty much it, man.
I have a hard time going to the movies nowadays. I make it every now and then, but
oh man, it's
actually so much better now that you can reserve seats.
It is better now that you can reserve seats, but my thing is I spend so much money on movies because I actually purchase the movies after they come out too.
Yeah, I purchased Across the Spider-Verse on YouTube Premium. Had that playing in the background at work today.
Yeah,
which one did you get?
Across the Spider-Verse.
No, there are different versions of that movie.
Oh yeah, there is. I don't know what's on YouTube Premium. There's only one. So
yeah,
it's $20.
So there's two versions. I'm gonna buy it on Friday.
The digital one, I noticed that they made some digital changes to some of the models, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's apparently what happened is throughout the theater run. There were at least two different versions of the movie that played, where it wasn't anything terribly big, but little stuff would be different in other people's movies.
Yeah, I've done a poor job at adulting, and I've lost my card, so I had to order a new one. So whenever they come in the mail, I'll get it. Um, but other than that, Nappy, what you been up to since we got you in the conversation, talking about movies and
Um,
stuff?
yeah, sorry I missed the last episode. I actually been working very hard at my job, and it kind of I was running on fumes when
How
you
dare you
guys
work
went live
hard?
last time. Damn, I'm sorry. I forgot I can't work hard. But anyway, I've been doing fantastic. So I've completed my first run of Remnant 2. I would usually start on veterans modes, and that final boss at first I was kind of annoyed when I finally beat it, but then I actually went back to my friend's world and being in his world, and I realized that like it's not really much of a bad boss. I realized when I made when I made my comments earlier, it was just right when I freshly beat the boss, and you say some things that you don't mean, and sometimes you got to take yourself out of the situation because I kept on dying to the boss. But it
Yeah.
is but yeah, the final boss isn't bad. It's just once you got it's a learning thing, and as you die, you're gonna learn all of its move sets and stuff. And it has some crazy stuff going on with its phases, which was pretty interesting.
Okay.
But got veteran mode complete, and now I am trying to unlock all the stuff I can in Remnant 2. There's a lot of armor sets and weapons, and there's actually one archetype that you can unlock that people only found out about from data mining because you got to have a specific set of armor, weapons, and even your rings equipped to get this secret archetype, which is crazy that
Okay.
they
So
put that in the game.
so as a PCMR, you haven't got swept up in the Baldur's Gate 3 craze? Are you
I'm going to actually get that pretty soon.
okay?
My girl and I, she got Baldur's Gate 3, and now that I completed Remnant 2, also we completed the Nonary game series, so we
Okay.
beat Zero Time Dilemma, which was the
Let's
last.
go.
So that was the last game in the series, and they left it at an open ending, which was pretty interesting to me how they did the third one. They somehow went even crazier than the second one and then the first one. These people just break the law of physics and not only can time travel and exist in futures that don't exist yet. I'm like transfer their souls to different bodies and machines that can create matter. It's insane some of the stuff they do, but it was a fun trilogy. And if you like escape rooms, definitely will recommend the Zero Escape series or the Non-Ring game series or
Okay.
Non-Ring games, the first one. Also, I've completed 2 controller reviews. I have posted them both at the same time. One has Hall effect joysticks, mechanical keys that's for PC, and a wire connection on Nintendo Switch. The second one is a controller that works on Nintendo Switch and PC. And I have more controllers coming in the mail that I'm currently working on reviewing. So
Alright. When you get a second,
that's pretty much it for me.
when you get a second, drop those links to those videos in the chat and in the Discord so people can find it. You know people are
Oh yeah,
lazy.
of course.
Um. Oh, and you how let you know that they
Oh,
started
cool.
God Eater 3.
Oh,
Um.
nice, man. I hope you enjoy it.
So
Which game?
He started God Eater 3, not Monster Hunter 3.
yeah, I
God
said
Eater
God
3 is
Eater
a
3.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
I said
said
God Eater.
no, I thought you said Monster Hunter
No,
3.
I
I was
said
like, no,
God Eater.
not
I
Monster
mean,
Hunter 3.
he does say at the bottom he needs a Monster Hunter style refresh, MH style refresh.
Yeah, God Eater 3 is actually really good. I don't know if you bought the trilogy. The trilogy was on sale on Steam this past
What is that?
weekend. God Eater 3. So it's like an anime version of Monster Hunter. It actually had its own manga and its own TV show. The TV show was sadly only one season though.
Mm-hmm.
The manga's pretty decent. Yeah, the God Eater 3 is a really good game. God Eater 2 is on PC as well and on the PSP Vita. And the original God Eater Resurrection is actually on the PSP. That also got ported over to PC as well. So yeah, that's definitely good to get into. I've completed all 3 of them. So
Okay. And last but certainly not least, host of the Game Slayer podcast, Omar. What have you been up to and what have you been playing?
What up? What up? Yeah, I said it last night, but last week. But shout out to you for taking over the mantle
Oh,
from
no problem.
Dante.
No problem.
Um, Okay, so with me, a lot. I'm playing Harvestella. Combat is fun. Everything that we wanted from Final Fantasy 16, it have it. You have multiple, around 10 or 11, maybe even 12 different classes to choose from. You can switch through 3 of them on the fly, but it does have a cooldown. And if you want to change the 3, you can do so at at the save point. Um, mu- uh, Quests are great. Characters are believable. Quests build up the world building, and I'm loving it. The story is also very interesting. I'm not sure where it's going, but yeah.
All right.
Despite that, I actually took a break from Harvestella and started Atlas Fallen.
Okay, yeah, that
And let me
just
tell
dropped
you,
like a
yeah,
week ago,
Oh,
right? It just dropped last week, right?
sorry.
Alice Fallen came out
yes, it
last week,
did.
right? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to touch it yet.
Yeah. So here is the thing with Atlas Fallen. It does a lot of things amazing, but it also does a few things so bad that it takes away from enjoyment of the game.
I,
First
I,
off, yeah,
I was gonna say, I think it's pretty safe to say, like, we get the highs and lows of gaming this generation are like all over the place. I think this is probably the most like unbalanced generation of games we've seen as far
but
as like quality.
but it's the developer choice that mind boggled me. For example, this game is massive. When I say massive, areas are legit, no joke. Um, they're big.
Yeah.
But here is the issue with it being that big. It have lower level and also sometimes under level where you can go through. And the map helps you a bit, but one, there is no mini map. That's number one. Number one issue. Number two, your chest don't show, most of them don't show up on the screen. Sometimes they do, but you need to have an equipment ready to make sure that the controller vibrates or it makes sound so you know where to find them. But even then, it takes a lot of time.
Okay.
And the biggest offender is there is an almost like, let's call it a mini tower. Kind of like how with Assassin's Creed you scan the area. Something similar, but here is the difference. With Assassin's Creed, when you scan the area, it leaves everything. It show up on your map or your minimap. But with this one, no. You actually need to mark it on your on your map or it's gone. And it's so irritating because even that is not even consistent. Because I mark it, I go to where I need to be, and I still can't find it. And I'm like, developers, you have an amazing game. When it comes to the combat, this is the bread and butter. The combat is so amazing. It's actually one of the few games that reward you for being aggressive. There is a parry system, but the parry system is what makes it work. Basically, by pressing L1 at the right time, which is the timing window is very generous, you have a chance of freezing your enemy, and you can wham on him. And by doing so, you build up meter that you can then eventually make use of your skills. And your skills refresh every 20 seconds or something like that, depend on the skill. And these skills, they can be combined, they can level up, and they change your entire gameplay style. You want to be defensive? You can. You want to be offensive? You can. This game, when it comes to the combat, amazing. Amazing. 20 out of 10. Exploration, a 5 or a 4. Because yes, you can explore, but the areas are way too big. And it's like you're looking for a needle in a haystack. You're like, where is this chest? I've been running around for 15 minutes right now, and I can't find the chest. And also another offender, and I'm done. The reward is so inconsistent. But I'm not sure if it's random or not. But I did a mini game, which is very entertaining to do. And after doing so, I got dye that I can use for my armor. I'm like, that's not what I should be getting after doing a mini game for around 2 to 3 minutes. That it's challenging, but it's fun. I should get something like a new skill out of it. But yeah, so far it's sitting around at 6. Because as much as the combat is amazing, the exploration is so bad, it's actually making me not to want to look for items anymore and just beat the game with how I am. Especially with how big the areas are.
Yeah.
And also, um, another game release. I'm not sure if it was tested or not, but I have a review. One crash and a few moments where a certain quest should pop up, but it didn't. And also, my enemy wouldn't telegraph his move, and I would almost auto die because there's no way around it. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. All right. Yeah. So I thought it was last but not least, but someone has decided to straggle in. Is Jubei prepared to give his intro?
Yeah, I'm set, bro.
All right. How you been, Jubei? What you been playing?
Um, a tough question. I haven't really been playing anything this week. I started a couple of jobs this week, in addition to my main job. So
All these
and,
damn hard workers.
Couple of
sleeping.
jobs?
You know what I mean? I have 3
Yeah.
jobs. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sucks. Uh, all good though. Yeah, hopefully I get into.
Wait, hold up. You sound robotic.
Yes,
little
he's
bit.
level
He
up.
sounds
I
like
think
far away.
he his job.
It's his distance.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's distance. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm just tired, bro. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into some gaming when I can settle my schedule down.
Do you have a
go.
new mic? Because your mic seems different.
No, same. Like
Hey.
I
Okay.
might have to leave the call and come back, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's leaving almost like an.
you do sound a little off, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you're clear. It's just like a little buzz when you speak a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah, I can hear it. Let me fix that.
all right. So as far as me, this week I have been playing Tales of Arise. I jumped back into that. I started playing it when it launched, but then I didn't buy like the Ultimate Edition, and then I saw how expensive it was to like purchase all the Ultimate Edition of stuff by itself. And I was like, man, F that. So I waited till it went on sale, when the Ultimate Edition went on sale, and I bought the Ultimate Edition. Now I just decided to jump back into it. So I've been playing that. Um, Today is the launch of Madden 24 for people who purchased the Deluxe Edition. But you know, EA got an EA, and as soon as I launched the game, the servers were down. So no one can actually play against each other at the moment. is kind of interesting. So before the show kicked off, the first day I play Madden, I typically don't even play. I typically just build my playbooks out and like set my audibles and all that stuff. Maybe hit a little practice mode, and I might play like a game or two before I go to bed. But no, not today because EA got an EA and not have their servers ready. Uh, I think it is the dumbest idea ever to launch your game at 8 p.m. on a weekday or any day. Like 8 p.m. is prime time, and unless you got your servers like ready to go, like the midnight release is better because most people aren't staying up till till midnight to play. Like the hardcore bases, but 8 p.m. everyone everyone who bought that deluxe edition is trying to play right now, whether you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, and they don't have separate servers anymore for each of those platforms. They're all on one. They're all on one group of servers, and apparently it can't handle load. So yeah, shame on you, EA. Shame on you.
Yo, Pharaoh, question.
Fire away.
I know, we get the game like early or whatever to play, but like we don't get any of our deluxe shit until the game actually comes out, right?
I don't dive into MUT, so gotta check. I mean, if you hit your MUT
Damn it.
and see like what packs you got and stuff,
Yeah, but like even on my console, it's telling me to like rebuy the fucking deluxe edition, even though like I bought it already.
and just wait till Friday, I guess. With like this
I
whole
don't want
like
to.
everything about this fucking Madden release is trash. All right, the
They just
servers
want your
aren't ready.
money.
The servers aren't ready. They
How did they
gave
fuck this up, bro?
I don't know.
It's
I
EA.
just yeah. EA got an EA. On top of that, they have a tournament for like I think top prize is like $40,000. Right? The tournament starts on Friday. They gave all the top comp players the game a week ago. So they had a whole 2
Oh, wow.
weeks. Yeah, the top comp players get a whole 2 weeks to jump into this tournament and like, figure out all the new mechanics of the new Madden 24. Whereas everyone else at most gets a 3-day warm-up period in the middle of the week. Not even like on a weekend, like, you get Friday, you have a whole weekend to yourself to play it. No, it's in the middle of the week. People got to go to work, come home, deal with kids and school and whatever else they got going on in their personal life during that Monday through Friday. And then this weekend kicks off the MCS tournament. And it's just trash. So I'm not happy with how they handled this launch. I don't even do much. I don't do MCS. I don't like the whole playing all these little mini games and stuff like that to collect cards and then build your own team out. Like that's not me. Um so um but I do feel for the people who are participating in this tournament and have aspirations of winning it. Because at one point I did play in competitive Madden tournaments, and I would hate to be in that situation where I'm behind the 8 ball, against other top players because they get the game early because they have large followings or they've, made it to the semifinals or something like that. Yeah, shame on you, EA. But with that being
Who's on the
said,
cover this year?
Josh Allen's on the cover.
Really?
So
Okay.
yes.
Oh no, not really. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's on the cover. But with that being said, I am about to start doing chapters. I'm jotting the time down now, and we are going to jump to topic 1. But before we do that, I would like everyone to please hit that like button, and if it would be so gracious of you to share this out to other gamers who you think would enjoy this. But for our first topic of today, we're going over the Red Dead re-release. So, basically, Red Dead is re-releasing, I think, just to the PlayStation, right? Because it's already on. You can buy Red Dead on Steam like right now before they announced this.
It's not on Xbox, but not
Did it?
PlayStation only, so far I know.
Yes, I believe the Red Dead re-release is only on PlayStation. Because it was like you could always play it on Xbox because of the backwards compatibility program.
Yeah. Is it on Steam? That's actually a good question. Let me double check.
So I believe it's only re-releasing to PlayStation and Switch. It's going to Switch too, right?
Yeah, Switch. Yeah, I
All right.
remember Switch.
Oh, it is going to
Actually,
PC
no.
too.
PC does not have Red Dead Redemption. At least on
Okay.
Steam, it doesn't.
So they
Yeah, I
are
know I could play it on the emulator, but I didn't know if it was
all
an
right. So
actual.
they're releasing to every platform outside of Xbox, and basically,
Yeah, because of Xbox
PC
backward compat.
and also PC. PC doesn't have
and
it either.
is it releasing to PC?
No, we don't. We technically don't have an official version of Red Dead
That's what I'm saying.
Redemption.
Is it releasing to it? I know it's releasing to
No.
Switch and PlayStation. So
Check. That kind of sucks.
so so basically, what I was gonna say is they're re-releasing the game. They're not remastering it. They're just re-releasing it. Like basically, there's no upgrades and features or anything like that, and they are charging like close to full price.
50.
Yeah, like
50,
$50.
50,
Yeah,
yeah, 50.
$50 for the game, and they said that the price is representative of like the work it to move it over to the PlayStation 5 and Switch, which is actually kind of
You mean
ridiculous.
the copy and paste job they did? You mean
Yes.
it's a lot of work dragging a folder, bro. It's a whole lot of work.
Yes.
I mean, hey, look at GTA, man. It took them a long time to drag that mobile version of GTA over.
But the worst part about it is that it's like still running at 30 frames per second and everything. Meanwhile, the Xbox backwards compatibility team, one of the games that they touched was Red Dead, and it runs at 60 frames per second at 4K resolution. Meanwhile, on the PlayStation, it does not, and on the Switch, it's gonna run on the Switch. So, pretty raw deal for PlayStation gamers. I can't say it's a raw deal for Switch gamers because there's limitations on that hardware. But the fact that they didn't do any extra work and Xbox did, it's a pretty bad look on their own game. But this is a topic that Omar wanted to go into, so I'm gonna let him kick off his rant. How you feeling about this, Omar?
Yeah, I'm actually pissed about it. Look, I don't fuck with Red Dead, but this is not about it. This is about the principle. What I mean by that is when company does some stuff like this, other companies gonna look at it and think, okay, how much can we push the envelope? It's always you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, shout out to Xbox for showing how it's done, but also exposing Rockstar for not even doing the bare minimum.
Well, this isn't their first time doing this. I mean, they just did this, I think, a year or two ago with the Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Grand Theft Auto, the Grand Theft Auto Vice trilogy release for Vice City, San Andreas. They basically re-released the game on consoles, which was actually turns out to be a PC port, which pissed a lot of
it was
people
pretty
off.
poor. So this isn't.
It was really bad.
Yeah, this isn't their first time doing this. So
Do we know if it sold well or not?
Sadly, the first time it did so well, but a lot of people weren't expecting it to be a PC release. I mean, they weren't expecting it to be like they basically took the mobile version of those Grand Theft Auto games and re-released them on console. They were not expecting that. It ran pretty bad. It ran extremely bad.
Yeah, so
what makes me wonder where is as a gamer, as much as I dislike The Last of Us remake, at least they remade it. They didn't add new story content, sadly. They didn't add new weapon and stuff like that. But they did stuff from the ground up. They made it better. But with this, and that cost what? 70? But with this one, you're literally getting a re-release. And you need to pay 50 for it. Like you could easily find this game for what, $15 on eBay or something like that.
Yeah, but it won't
Or
boot on your PlayStation though. Like this really is mainly affecting like PlayStation gamers, and it won't boot on the PlayStation. So unless you get the re-release, so like you don't really have a choice but to buy the newer version, or
Yeah,
have a PlayStation. Was it released on PlayStation 3? Red Dead.
yes,
oh,
PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Yeah, so
it's coming. It's
so
beyond coming.
so you unless you got
I
a PS3 and Red Dead, that's the only way you can play it.
Omar, you have
I
to emulate. You can emulate that.
I wish
Hey,
people
everyone's
were
not
not gonna support
PCMR.
it.
He is.
He is
He has a
I wish.
4070.
He is PCMR.
Yeah, I have PC. I just
Yeah.
bought it a few
Yeah,
months
so
ago.
you can emulate it, but like even like the price point, because um the better version of Red Dead, which is on Xbox, is only like $30. So, you know, like a $20 price difference, and you can get 4K 60 versus, can't even get you can't get 4K 60 on a re-release because they didn't even bother to remaster it. They said, "Hey, we heard you guys want to play it. Well, here it is." It was a lot of work. So
It,
they're probably not even
it's
releasing print
sad.
editions. Is it digital only release? Does
Could you
anyone know?
repeat that?
Is it digital only release? Like, are they doing physical
I do
Oh,
not
PS5
know.
copies?
I don't know
I
either.
doubt it. It's probably just a
But
cash
what
grab.
I saw it almost like disc-wise. So I think it's gonna be this.
Okay, it's probably just a quick cash grab. They're you
Yep.
know, I think a lot of these companies are trying to catch up from the pandemic, even though people were gaming more than ever during that time. I mean, there was a lot of sunk costs as far as development. You were paying all these developers to pretty much sit at home for a year. So, I think that's a lot of what we're seeing. And that's why we're seeing these up and down games in quality and these rush releases and everything like that.
Okay,
Um,
I got you on that end, but at least put some effort into it. My issue is
oh,
not the
Rockstar.
re-release.
Yeah, Rockstar's not putting any effort into any of it, as we've seen. Like this is becoming a pattern.
They
For
don't. They just
sure.
want to make money.
Yeah.
This is your second biggest IP, so far I know. And this is how you treat it.
Is it their second biggest? Didn't they make Max Payne as well? Make Max.
Max
Remedy.
Payne. When's the last time
Max
Max
Payne is a
Payne?
Remedy.
Oh, Remedy.
Max Payne is a Remedy game, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Oh yeah,
but
because Alan
but when you
Wake
say
and
that,
that's supposed to be
when you say that
tied.
hidden,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
but
see.
I thought that Rockstar did touch. Actually, they did touch Max Payne.
I thought
I
so.
think
They
they
touched.
were a
Yeah. They touched
publisher.
Max Payne.
Were they the publisher for that? Were they the publisher for that game?
They did Max Payne 3 and LA
Yeah.
Noir Complete Edition. Those were
Noir.
the two extra games they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the gun mechanics for Max Payne 3 ended up in GTA 5. So
Okay. But say I could have sworn it had something to do with it, but
But that's the thing, though. How long has that been? Long time ago. Right now, their biggest bread and butter is Red Dead and GTA.
No, their biggest bread and butter is GTA 5 online. I don't think Red Dead is even
No,
selling anymore like
just
that.
GTA Online makes them a shit ton of money. That's why
Yeah.
they're never updating it. Last time they updated it was with a casino.
Yes.
Body Harvest in 64 is Body Harvest. That's a pretty solid game, right? Well, Body Harvest, no.
No, I don't think anyone's playing that anymore. You lost
But remember,
everyone at
this is
64.
This is the same Rockstar that outsourced that GTA. I forgot which one.
Yeah, the
that
trilogy we were just
abysmal
talking about.
port.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. But yeah, Zero. While you're speaking, did you have any thoughts on this particular matter?
I don't know. It just feels like more Rockstar being Rockstar. Like I've said a bunch of times before. I don't like Red Dead Redemption.
Me neither. Shout out to
I'm
you.
sure it's a very good game, but I don't like westerns.
Okay.
Like, I just don't like them. Like, I
You know what?
I don't get it.
You never played Red Dead Redemption?
Nope, never
Not a
one.
fan.
Oh my-
He's not a fan
oh
of
my
westerns.
God.
He don't like cowboys.
Oh my!
I-
Well, it's funny because everyone keeps on forgetting about the PlayStation 2 release of Red Dead Revolver.
I remember Red Dead Revolver. Didn't play that one either.
Yeah, I don't think anyone forgot about it. I just think that, being that it doesn't carry the Red Dead Redemption name, it's just not, I know it's a trilogy in a sense, but
Yeah.
people aren't.
I guess truthfully, like, it's a little bit unfortunate that like Rockstar just sort of has carte blanche to do whatever they want. Like, they're not beholden to anyone but themselves, and they make money hand over fist.
Off of 2 games.
And they've been doing it since 2013.
Well, 3 games. They got because they have the Take-Two, so they make money.
And
off the sports
Take Two's
games.
Take Two's maybe the light in the dark.
Yeah, so they have GTA on the Rockstar side, and they have the 2K games on the Take-Two side.
Yeah.
So
it's just unfortunate. Like, even if this goes terribly for them, which it probably will, like, no lesson will be learned here. They'll still like do it again at some point because they feel a little bit untouchable. And like, especially now when people are like, we want Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like, they drop Grand Theft Auto 6, people will completely forget about anything that happened with this Red Dead thing. They will not remember. So, poor form, Rockstar, poor form.
Like, I mean, I know they've been working hard on Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'm sure that thing is gonna land. But it feels like once they drop a GTA, outside of like patches and little updates here and there, they just sitting there chilling. They chilling and outsourcing games that they made to be pushed out, and they're like, you want us to remaster it? Nah, we don't want to pay for you to remaster it. Just get it out on there.
Yeah, get a couple of the interns to go do it. Like, I'm on vacation, and I'm not coming back for probably another 7 years.
I'm telling you that
GTA 7 has to come back.
I'm telling you, GTA Online money, they are making bread off of GTA Online with all them shark cards.
Like, those developers probably have a pretty good quality of life. They're probably not like,
They got Rockstar hires a lot of contractors. Actually, they have a contract here in Maryland for help desk support for Rockstar for GTA Online.
But they do have some like permanent staff, and those people who are permanent staff, they are probably like pretty cushy because they don't do shit.
Yeah, they are.
And like, you have all the time in the world to work on Grand Theft Auto, so they never seems to be like, we got to get Grand Theft Auto out on the new next PlayStation. Like, you'll get it when we say you'll get it. All right.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on the PlayStation 3.
3. It's 3 console generations deep.
Yeah, like it'll come out when they're ready. If it releases on the PS6 and the Xbox, whatever, like, oh well, we're still making money.
Yeah, they'll be like, so what? You won't buy it anyway.
Yeah, like, they're like literally good. Like, they're still selling like, I believe Grand Theft Auto is still like top 50 in like video game sales every month. Like, they're still like
Grand Theft Auto and Mario Kart keep popping up on the top charts, and it's like scary.
Yeah.
Well, the Grand Theft Auto, I think the roleplay servers.
Yes, you're right. I forgot there's a whole community of that.
Yeah.
Role-playing servers are actually a lot of fun. That's what's keeping GTA Online alive.
Yeah. Any thoughts on your end, Jube, or you gonna skip on this topic?
I mean, I see zero reason for me to even want to purchase this game again because I already own it. I own a version that runs better, and I didn't have to pay $50 for it. I paid
you already have
$15 for it to get the game and the DLC for it. I found a copy in GameStop.
Yeah, but you have an Xbox, so you're kind of unaffected by this situation in a sense.
I'm 100% unaffected by it. It does suck because here's the thing: people are gonna buy this, and it's just gonna let them continue to keep doing this. Like Omar said, like, you give them an inch, they're gonna take several miles in this case. just because they can.
Emulate that.
The moment that they saw
They're
that
going.
people were just
They're going
oh,
to
what
space with
happened?
us, bro.
My bad. But yeah, the moment that they saw that people were just gonna keep on buying Grand Theft Auto 5 no matter what, they just stopped caring. But oh man, there we go. So yeah, them dudes they just stopped caring at this point. But yeah, so if that's the case, it looks like we're all done on topic 1. We can move on to topic 2 of today, and that is Forza missing features at launch. This thing isn't centered. Oh, that's centered. So basically, I don't know if it's been 100% confirmed yet, but basically a report came out saying that Forza is gonna be missing 3 features at launch. One is spectator mode. 2 would be the AI driving and online play. And the third feature that would be missing is split screen, specifically on the Series S. Um, so I don't think we got the official word directly from Xbox yet. But that's kind of what came out over the weekend. And I was talking to Jubei in the group chat, and I was like, if this is the case, Jubei, you might have to take that L on the fact that Series S just has a split screen issue. And he said he'd be more than willing to take that L. And without further ado, I'm gonna let him kick off this topic talking about potentially the Series S missing out on yet another game with split screen.
I think it's weird. I mean, I think it's crazy that their own internal team can't get it done at launch. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I
the
don't
funny part
know.
is that Forza
Are we
Horizon launched with split screen at launch.
with split screen? It did. So
So
what's the issue?
yeah,
Is it something they just didn't prioritize because of their new engine, air quotes? Um, I mean, I get it. Like, how often do we really use split screen to play Forza? Like, I don't
I
think
believe I believe
I've
they
done
said
that.
2% of all users use the split screen
Meaning
feature.
me, meaning not me.
Not many.
Um, yeah, not a whole lot at all. Um, a minuscule number, but it still sucks because it's just making the hardware look bad at this point. They need to fix the marketing that they have around their console if this is going to continue to happen. Like I said, if it can't do split screen because of a hardware limitation, I'll hold that out. If it's not that, and it's just more so that's just something they thought could wait because they want to get the rest of the game out with their ray tracing on in race and on track and all that shit, then different conversation. But they need to get the marketing for this handled.
So
It's a bad look.
do you own a Series S?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Xbox comes out post Forza launch and they say Series S is a single player only box. We are not going to do local co-op on Series S consoles anymore. Will you take that? And then with that announcement, they announce co-op mode for Halo Infinite and split screen for Forza Motorsport.
You know what? Honestly, you want the honest answer to that?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you.
I'll take that. And here's why. Here's why. Because you're now differentiating your product so that people can go buy the Series X if they really want those features. That way there's no complaints. People that want it don't have to miss out. You gotta get the right console to play it though. But
Yeah. So
I think in that
like a
scenario everybody's
Like a
happy.
Baldur's Gate 3, or any game that requires a split screen, co-op will not those co-op features will not be available on the Series S. You will have to get a Series X if you want to partake in those particular features.
Do you really think
Yeah.
Microsoft would allow themselves to
Going forward,
to
I think they would going
All right,
forward.
so
There are some split screen
That
games that
would
work.
be
I mean,
such a big backlash.
I mean,
No way.
you're gonna get a Twitter backlash, like a
No,
social media backlash.
because they literally promised you that it's gonna do the same thing, only lower spec, and
Yes.
they
So
literally
you would
said
get
that.
so you're gonna get
So
a media backlash from that. Of course you are. Like no one's arguing that. But as far as the consumer goes, like people who are buying this, it just lets consumers know what they are going to be purchasing. It's better than not getting games at all, like Baldur's Gate 3. If it's really just the Series S and they decide, you know, um, this is because the whole point of the Series S is a low entry, a low barrier entry into gaming. So if the low entry barrier to gaming precludes you from split screen co-op, I mean, it's not really much you can argue about that.
you can, because that's how they promoted it. And they're gonna be going back on their word, and
no, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're not. They said it has next gen performance, right? Split screen is not a fucking next gen feature, bro. It's not. It's just not. It's just not. You can do it on the Switch. Like it's not. You can do it on the Steam Deck. It's not a next gen fucking thing.
They did promise content and feature parity. So, that is a feature, and it wouldn't have parity. So,
you're right. So
they are gonna have to eat some backlash on it, but I do think it is a option that they could potentially pursue, for better or worse.
Or they release a respec Series S.
No, it's too late for that because they're already releasing the black one next month. It is too late.
They are releasing the black one.
Well,
they are releasing black one.
Well, the biggest thing about the Series S is it's not the fact that it has like less memory than the Series X. It's that memory bit wide bus is significantly smaller compared to the Series X. That's what's hindering the performance of the Series S. So the fact that it's on a 128-bit bus with 10 gigabytes of GDR6 compared to the Series X, which is a 320-bit wide bus with 16 gigabytes of GDR6. I can see the complications. My only thing I wonder is for the Series S, why can't they just knock it down to 1080p so they can put that split screen co-op on there?
I'm sure they would if they could.
I'm about to say no, because think about
or 720. Like resolution shouldn't fucking matter if you're gonna play on the fucking S anyway.
I'm about to say if you're doing
you didn't buy an S for the fucking resolution.
I'm about to say you should be able to knock down a resolution, and that bit wide bus should be able to handle like 1080p and definitely 720p. So maybe they don't. Maybe they think that that's not good enough for the Series S, and rather just let it stick to 1440p and that's it.
Like I said, we don't. Like I said, it hasn't been officially announced yet. But if it is, and this is a legitimate issue,
oh wait, this is a rumor.
Yeah, Xbox hasn't officially said that those features that it's not going to have split screen at launch. It's
who was the one that said it? Was it the developer or
it was like an insider?
No. There was an interview. Like there was
from,
legit like from somebody from Turn 10.
Oh,
yeah, this is real.
Okay.
No. There was a dev. They were doing a dev talk at like one of the Forza shows.
Okay.
And he just came up and was like,
so we're not hypothesizing anymore. This is a legit issue. So,
yep.
They need to, they either need to find a solution, or they need to make some tough choices with their console at this point.
But here's the thing: do they really need to cater to this 2% of people that use this?
Yeah, because they're the ones that advocated for it. They're the ones that said you're not gonna see
I'm talking about. Think about this realistically. If there's 10 people in line and 2 people don't want that, is the other 8 people going to turn around if they do want that?
No. There are more Series S than Series X.
Okay, but that doesn't
matter.
All right, so
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. What matters in this instance is because they have, everyone's hooked up to the internet. So what matters is the actual statistics, like how many Series S users are using the splits. Like, what are the
There are
like?
more Series S
It
than
doesn't
Series
matter.
S.
But that doesn't matter. So they, like, for instance, we're all hooked up to the internet. Xbox can see how everyone is playing. They can see specifically of that 2%, how many are Xbox Series X users and how many are Xbox Series S users. Like they can take that data and they can determine whether or not, like, our Series S users are not doing co-op at all locally. It's only the Series X users that are doing co-op mainly. Like of the 2%, 20% of Series S users are using split screen co-op, and they can make a determination based on the information that they have that we don't have access to. We know that it's 2%, but they know of that 2% what demographic they make up of what console they actually purchased. Because it's not just Series S and Series X, it's Series S, Series X, and Xbox One when they talk about how many people are using split screen. So they can really nail those numbers down and determine what would be best for their platform.
It'll be interesting to see what Microsoft does because they clearly seem to have a Series S problem.
Yeah, I mean, I just threw out a hypothetical. I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're gonna do, but
I know, I got you.
But
It's
I mean,
also it puts them in a bad look because it's one thing for Larian to have to struggle with it, but when your own first party is doing so,
yeah,
that's when
they're only,
you should go back to the drawing board.
I mean, they're still dedicated to 2 platforms because they're dedicated to PC, but they're only dedicated to one console um platform. So yeah, they should have had a solution. It's not like Turn 10 works on multiple games; they work on one game. So yeah, it is a bad look for what's going on.
I'm just surprised. I'm just
Okay.
surprised they didn't knock down the resolution with the split screen thing because that could be an easy way to.
Well, they can't for Forza. You can't knock down resolution for Forza
I can't you?
because Forza, a lot of what makes Forza Forza is the visual.
Have you seen the visuals while they're moving?
I haven't seen
Everything's rendered less.
I haven't seen it at 720, and I'm
I
sure
have.
that they have a standard of what they want their title to look like when someone walks across and sees the game.
But
On
when
the
you have
game
2
too.
screens at the same time on a TV, I think 720 is okay.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not okay, but I'm just saying for them, I don't think 720p is acceptable for Forza, their flagship racing game. I don't think it's acceptable to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Reggie.
It just feels like if that's the case, then it's just like, then why do we have this like Series S? Like because
Yeah, because it's already a
just
1440p
Apparently,
console.
it was supposed to undermine the PlayStation.
like I'm
To
always
be between
supposed like I'm
1080p
always a
to
little
1440. That's why I said
like I'm always
780p is probably not acceptable to them. That's why I said
720p. It should be fine. I mean, I say even 1080. It has a memory bus to do 1080p though.
yeah.
Like it should be able to handle all the assets on two different loads for split screen. So that's why I'm just like, what? Like, are they telling them
it's
they
like
can't do 1080p split screen
it's like what, and then like how much and like and going forward, how many more times are we going to hear this? And so then I'm just like, because I'm always a bit, I thought I understood the Series S, and then as things come out and stuff is missing, I'm like, so it's not just the underpowered system. It's not just the little brother. It's like something kind of sort of like that with being like, oh, well, it just can't do some of these things or won't do some of these things. Where
Or
like
it
I
takes
always,
a lot of time to do so.
I don't mind that either. But like I just thought it was like if the X loads in 5 seconds, the S is probably going to load in 15. If the S is doing 4K native, I mean the X is doing 4K native, the S is doing 720. Obviously I'm thinking it's going to look better. Like I picture it in the same way when people put a game on the Switch that's not a native Switch game. It's like Red Dead on Xbox, yes. Red Dead on Switch, very clearly this is going to look different because it's weaker and underpowered. But the S always seems in this weird state of like maybe sometimes it is, maybe sometimes it isn't. And so then I'm like, well, then who's this sort of really for? I know who it was advertised to, but like, is it really for them? If like, because I had thoughts of getting an S, thinking it was just the underpowered system, still being able to do everything I want, just not as clean or crisp. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So now going forward, they don't want Forza to do it. Maybe they don't want their next Gears to do it either. Maybe they don't want the next Halo or continuation of Halo to do it. So like, how long before Microsoft and the teams at Microsoft make the Series S irrelevant?
I don't know. It's just interesting to me because I'm like, maybe these developers, because they are making the game mainly for a console, but then there also is a PC release side to this. And the one thing about making games for PC is the nightmare. You always got to think about what is currently the lowest spec hardware that people are currently using as of right now. Like if this game runs on now, I will admit that usually ports usually don't get the split screen, but of course PC community, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is that we can get this thing. I'm guarantee you, your hardware, then it's like even at a lower resolution, like a 1080p or 720p, then what would be the issue? As a matter of fact, it would be even crazier if the PC community can get 2 instances of the game running on the same hardware and basically have a problem. I mean, we have this whole program called Nucleus Co-op that took a bunch of games and made them local co-op. So I'm really curious, like maybe these developers don't want to bother making split screen for a Series S because it's just late, just because they don't feel like it.
We're talking first party now, though. Like we're not talking about.
Yeah, first part. Just because they're first party doesn't mean they ain't going to complain.
No, but here's the thing: it is literally first party, so they would literally get destroyed by Microsoft corporate.
I would have to believe that being one of Xbox's flagship studios, that they had a say in well, I won't say they had a say. They had input on the design of the Series S and what they needed in order to make the type of games that they wanted to make on that platform. So I can't believe that one of your top 3 studios had no input on the design of the console. Not saying it has to be like this, be like that, but I'm sure Jason Ronald, when he was designing it and his team, they went to those developers and said, "Hey, what features do you need from us for this min spec system, basically?"
Interesting. So it makes you question how long was the developers, or rather Microsoft, aware that the developers at Forza are not going to be able to get them there.
I mean, the only biggest issue right now I see is 128-bit. It's a 128-bit bus, which is extremely smaller to Xbox Series X's 320-bit bus. I mean, and also there is 6 gigs of GDR6 memory missing from the Series S compared to Series X. The so-called down clock is honestly not that much of a down clock. It's only down clock about 0.2 gigahertz, which honestly is like barely noticeable in certain cases. So it's that big bus. That 128-bit bus is I think is the biggest thing that's holding it back. I think if it had a bigger memory bus, then we actually may be able to get something a little bit more sustainable. But I mean, even still, like if you're a 1440p console, I don't understand why you can't just drop the resolution down. Because I mean, like even like with people struggling with Unreal Engine 5, some of these games studios, they have the ability to downgrade the graphics on some of these games. They identify the console stuff. I don't know why they just won't accept it. Because I think it will look bad for them if they can't do local co-op on the Series S. I mean, this will be just a PR nightmare.
I think that like I said, I think image quality is something that they're not willing to compromise on with a game like Forza. Like if it was anything
Yeah,
else like a Gears or Fable or anything like that, I think they're willing to compromise. Hellblade, Avowed, I think they're willing to compromise on those type of games. Forza in particular, like car games are all about how good the cars look. You know, when they drop those trailers for Gran Turismo or Forza or any sim racer, they're looking at every aspect of the car and they're posting a picture of the real car next to it, and they're
Um,
fine tooth combing through the details. I mean, it's really a thing for those car games. So I just don't think they're willing to sacrifice on image quality when it comes to those particular games.
they should for split screen. I mean, look at the Nintendo Switch. No one gives a damn. Heck,
No,
people complain that the games
yeah,
don't
but
run
the
at 30
difference is
FPS.
this is a Switch, yeah.
I know it's
I
different,
mean,
different fan base, but
I
I would say they're similar because they're getting weaker hardware.
I would agree with you because
They're accepting.
because almost no one's gonna do a game capture of the split screen and dissect the graphics in split screen mode. Most people, I mean, nobody reputable at least. Most won't. Um, so I mean, I do think that is an option, but I don't think that's an option that Microsoft's willing to pursue at this moment. I think eventually, um, the split screen will come to the Series S, but I do think they need to either find a solution or they might have to make some tough choices and say, hey, this is a pretty much a single player only box. As anything that requires split screen, you're not gonna really get that on the S unless it's an Xbox One game. I think it's
That
something that
would
might
be a PR nightmare for
it would,
them.
but it's
Yeah,
something
I get it.
it is something that they may have to consider. I mean, if
It
they
makes the
can't find a
question: would it
solution,
be no? That would be a disaster on the level of what Sega did, which
eh,
when they introduced a console and they introduced another uh, something for the console. Like
yeah,
nah, because you promised you consumer base something, and your consumer base, especially most of them, own a Series S and not S. So
yeah.
to say something like that, you're gonna be in a hot water for a long time
I don't know if you're gonna be in hot water. I just really don't because most people don't use um
because
multiplayer
Split
features.
screen
it,
people.
it's
That's
I am
true.
Like I don't
an owner of Series.
I think you get a social media, backlash for sure, but in reality, most people play video games by themselves. It's not like what it was 20 years ago where people all came to each other's house and played video games together. Like that's just not really what it is
Areas don't got
anymore.
no friends.
Uh,
I'm
well,
not saying-
you can just hop online.
Yeah,
It's not come over anymore. It's hop online, throw your headset on, like
I mean, hey, look at us now. We're able to do a podcast online.
yeah. So that's just the state of the world right now. So do I think you get some backlash social media wise? Yes, but do I think the consumer in the store that is buying a Series S, if the person is educated on the topic and they're asking them, what console should I buy? And they say, well, the Series S doesn't have split screen co-op. And like, well, most people are gonna be like, well, I'm not playing split screen anybody anyway. I just want to play my Madden and 2K at home. Like maybe my boy comes over and plays 2K with me, but we don't need split screen
You
to
can't
play
even play two.
2K. You can play 2K. You don't
Oh,
need split
share. Oh,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're on the same
Oh,
court.
yeah. I forgot. Share screen co-op. You're gonna have to have that shared screen.
Well, you always have
Co-op
shared.
games are gonna be the only game.
Yeah, it would just
No,
be split. It would just
it
be a
is.
split screen game. So you would still be able to do like your
You'll
Street
be.
Fighters and all that. It would just be like particularly split screen game.
You know what will kill Xbox Series S? That will piss people off. If that new Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi game comes out, Series S can't do that split screen dual versus. That will be hilarious. Oh, it wouldn't be hilarious. It'd be sad, but
I think any Xbox One game will be fine though. But I mean, it's just some things that they may have to consider if they are not able to find a viable solution that developers first and third party will be able to take advantage of. I'm surprised Playground didn't help them because Playground had like I said, Forza Horizon didn't have any split screen issues. So it is interesting. Um, but do we have any final thoughts on this topic?
I'm curious how long it's gonna keep happening before Microsoft make an official statement about what they're gonna do.
Well, apparently they did make an official statement, but I don't think they've. I mean, we just gotta wait and see.
What I mean by an official statement, I mean like we know that as of right now they want both versions to be as close to each other as possible. One version is not allowed to have something and the other doesn't. So are they gonna backtrack on that?
I think the only way you get an official announcement is if the scenario I presented becomes a reality. So like the scenario I presented where they just abandoned split screen co-op on the Series S moving forward. That's the only time you would see an official statement. If they find a solution, there will be no official statement. It'll just be like split screen is launching the patch. It'll be a patch note. That's all it'll be. Won't be any announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So if that is it, that would be all of our topics for today, and we will roll into outro. Kind of a slow week. I guess we'll have more to talk about.
Oh wow, you're not doing the AI stealing audio?
Well, I said you would have a chance to talk about it in the opening comments. If you want to jump into that right now and kind of talk about it, go ahead, lead in with it. Do we have
Yeah.
do we have confirmation that that her voice was actually taken, or is it just believed that?
No, because she's not the only person that happened to her.
Okay.
Other person as well too.
So it's a trend.
And yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna look it up for you. I'm gonna name names. Because it is pretty messed up.
All right, so basically, while you're looking it up, I'll break down what happened. The voice actor who plays Jesse in Final Fantasy VII Remake, she was tagged a bunch of times, with a video game, and the video game clip was using a voice that sounded exactly like hers. And they were asking like, "Hey, did you work on this game? Did you give them permission to use your voice?" And I saw her comment online. Like her comment was like, "Let me go get a drink" or something like that. Like basically like she, showed her displeasure at the sound bite, but she didn't, you know, say like, "Hey, they stole my voice" or anything like that. At least not on social media. From what I saw. But so that started kind of making rounds last week, and it kind of falls back on like to what's going on with the actors strike right now. Because one of the things that one of the things they're trying to fight is the AI being used in the production of making films, and their voices and likeness being used in films and not being able to profit off of it. So we're just starting to see this kind of it's already starting to permeate in the acting world, live action acting, and it's starting to make its way over to voice acting. So I'll let Omar keep looking it up. And I kind of feel like our most insightful person on this topic might be our friend who just saw Oppenheimer. So Zero, what are your thoughts?
Right, 'cause I'm fully like versed in like Christopher Nolan and making an atomic bomb that I'm just like ready for all of this. But I actually do have pretty solid thoughts, and it comes from my history like studying art and design. in the sense of like it's really not okay. I saw a part of her name is Erica Lindback.
Yes.
She is the voice of Jessie. She is Felicia in Insomniac Spider-Man. She's in the Division. You know, she's doing pretty well for herself. So like it the wave of AI is coming, but I don't think it's going to go the way I think some people think it is, or at least how some people want it to go.
Yeah, it's not gonna be smooth.
Yeah, and largely because what is happening, I believe, is that people who are doing the work are inevitably pushing back against it. You can find this in a variety of industries. The easiest one, since Farrell brought up Madden earlier, like athletes. If you're a big sports fan, particularly basketball, being one of them, like athletes set their own rules now. Like it used to be like, oh, you got to do this and X, Y, and Z. It's like LeBron calls up Kyrie, like, bro, let's make a super team. Let's win like 3 championships and be done. Over with it. They realize that they have much more control than the owners and the coaches in the past have allowed them to. I think that actors and artists are starting to sort of realize this now, that you just can't sort of take what is the essence of who I am, my voice. Like it's one of the only things that people have that is theirs uniquely.
Yeah.
Like you just can't take my voice and then put it onto a thing, make a whole bunch of money out of it, and then give me absolutely nothing. Because this isn't even a situation where she signed some bad contract and like they said, hey man, don't sign, read what you sign. They just took her voice. And I'm sure they altered it a bit and maybe combined it with some other stuff, but it sounded like pretty clearly like that people immediately recognized it, says that you didn't do much changing, which is another good thing because people are recognizing what these people sound like. I'll know if somebody's stealing Phil Lamar's voice. You know what I mean? Like we understand what he sounds like. So I'm happy to see a lot of this pushback on what has happened to her because morally it's very gray, and I don't particularly agree with it. Legally, I'm sure it's not there yet, but it's got to come down to the idea that like, and if we keep it within the realm of how we speak about video games, and Omar's really big on pointing this out, like don't be lazy. Like if you're going to do the job, do the job. So like if you need someone to be a voice actor, go hire or find a voice actor. If you can't afford it, oh well, then maybe don't put voices in your games.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of games out here that do very well without having a voice in them. So like you don't need this. And AI is not your golden ticket out of here. And I don't think it's going to be anybody's golden ticket unless someone signs up for it. If James Earl Jones sells his voice off, okay, not a problem. If he doesn't, you don't get to just use my voice just cuz, or my likeness, or my anything of that for matter, because it all becomes a kind of weird slippery slope if we just start there. So it's sad that like she got harassed for it, and I'm not surprised because AI people are kind of weird and aggressive, and it's like this is the new
Wait, she
future.
got harassed? I actually
No,
saw
he didn't
people
say she got
being.
harassed. He was just speaking about AI in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although let's be honest, I'm sure she did, right?
Actually, I saw a lot of people being supportive.
Oh no, as you will, but I am sure that all those AI proponents were actively against her, especially because she's been working. As far as I understand, she's working in the industry for a while now. I don't know, like she's not as big as like Nolan North and such. So not to diminish her career in any meaningful way, but she, a lot of people just might not know her name off first instinct. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they're probably just like, oh, you should be thankful. Like we're giving you exposure. Like, well, first of all, she doesn't need exposure. Like she's in Insomniac Spider-Man. She's good. She's in Final Fantasy VII Remake. She's good. And second of all, like that's still not how this works. Like you shouldn't be able to do this.
Well,
And I don't enjoy it from an artist perspective about like, oh, I'm just gonna take somebody's work and then have an AI reproduce it, and it's like, oh, it's different now. Like, but you didn't do any of the work. And to me, it shows a level of disdain for like the arts as a whole. And the unfortunate like idea of like a future where like, oh, computers can do everything for us. Like, what do we need any of you people for? Like that can't work. I don't believe it can work. I don't believe it's sustainable. Like the floor will give in very quickly with all of that. So like I hope Miss Lindbeck
She's
and
not the
that
only one, eh?
oh no, she's
There's,
not the only one. Again,
I
there's
know this
no.
is a
In
much
this game
bigger
alone,
issue
yeah.
than
no,
just her.
in this game alone, there's apparently one by the name of Kari Waldron, which is another white actor being stolen by the same game.
Yeah. And like I know we're just going to get this like a lot because you're going to get real edgy independent game people who just like blah 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 I can do this and I'll make them say whatever I want them to say and like so forth and so on. And weirdos who'd be like again you should be honored and like if it were me and somebody used my voice I wouldn't care. Like no one's asking you because you're not a voice actor. Stay out of the conversation.
Well,
But
I'm gonna say this honestly, the AI thing is actually going. Well, this is like your issue you're talking about now is well way beyond gaming. It's
yeah,
like it's even gotten to the point now where they're trying to take dead people and trying to make new music. Like they try taking Michael Jackson's voice and was like, oh, we got his voice. We technically own the music rights, so we own his voice, so we can make more music with his voice.
yeah,
And that got backlash. I mean, it's crazy because of recently the crazy thing on Minecraft YouTube, a YouTuber decided to make an AI complete AI figure and voice and everything, and it did a Minecraft tutorial for him and posted on his YouTube channel, which was crazy. The thing of it's just insane about the level of what AI can do. I mean, you already have like AI taking presidential voices and rating stuff, taking
Yeah.
celebrities like Drake's voice and singing songs that he normally wouldn't sing. Like this is like a generated well beyond just gaming. And I know in the United States side, there's a lot of people are saying that the FTC needs to get involved because there needs to be laws regulated about AI because the one thing that is so far it's vague, but the argument is that because AI uses other people's work to produce its own work, that is copyright, but it's
right,
not put in place yet. And honestly, this is something, at least, and especially in the United States, where the AI and FTC well, FTC is going to have to go to Supreme Court with this because we need to make a new regulations
Yeah,
surrounding AI
Well,
because stuff
another
like this is going to
issue.
continue
how
happening.
can you, as uh, uh, as a person, not own your voice?
Well,
Yeah,
another
that's
issue
what I try to do with some.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say,
go on.
one of the other issues that people are having that they're gonna have to deal with in the future is that they're downloading these AI apps where they do things with their voice and take pictures of themselves. And when they sign up for these apps, they are giving up their rights to that company to use their image and likeness and sound however that company chooses. So they're signing an agreement um, when they decide to use that
Yeah.
app. So that's another issue that people are running into with that.
Yeah, don't use GPT, people. I know y'all love it. Don't use. But I mean, yeah, they even did it with rapping. They try to do it. These AI program can make Pac-Man now, which is pretty interesting. Can make Hangman. They want people to use AI because the more people use it, the smarter it becomes. The more people give access to it, the smarter it becomes. And these companies are thinking like, oh well, I already own the rights to this movie, so let me give the AI this movie, and it can learn from it. But without the consent of all the actors, voice actors, musicians that put work into that movie, and so that and this it's honestly it's going to be an issue, and honestly, and at least in the United States, I definitely see this going to the FTC and Supreme Court are going to have to start making regulations around AI and and update the copyright infringement laws surrounding AI because it's it's interesting to see how AI is advancing, but I can definitely see that they're going to start putting a mitigate on it soon because it's getting to the point now where you're going to start seeing a bunch of like crazy stuff. I mean, we already got the presidential's ranking everything, and they're just YouTube channels with no faces, no personal voices, just the presidents ranking like ramen noodle packets and stuff. And especially with all the crazy, especially with next year with America is about to go have a change of leadership, possibly. Yeah, they're definitely going to start making some regulations once they see what AI can really do.
I mean, just how long before somebody makes an AI to make somebody important say something they're not supposed to say?
Again, 2024, we got
Yeah.
our United States elections are coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna find out real hard.
Ye-
Just and like that. Unfortunately, that will be when people pay attention to it, and not when Ms. Lindbeck is just like this. And the thing about it, like, she didn't even really complain. She was just like, "Wow, this kind of sucks."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I have a
it does
question.
suck.
My question is, apparently, shout out to my team, a game player, they said if they would sue, they would actually lose, and it would cost them a
That's
lot
pretty
of
vague.
money.
That's pretty vague. Because it would depend on the country that game was made in and their laws regarding like AI and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I can only
because
speak for
the
someone from the United
technology
States.
isn't there aren't laws surrounding that type of technology and it's shit. So
Yeah, this is new territory.
so the laws don't keep up with how fast technology grows. So well, it could have if they like actually like watched those like sci-fi movies back in the day and said, "Hey, we might get here one day. Let's just create laws just in case we do." But no, that didn't happen. Um, but but yeah, so I don't know what legal grounds she has because I don't know where the game was made and I don't know the laws that are in place to protect her um, in that particular.
Hopefully, it's not China. China has the copyright laws in China sucks. That's why Chinese companies keep on stealing, making
Yep.
like illegal consoles there.
Yep.
Ain't no copyright laws in China.
Like the most she might be able to do is like if there are certain countries that do recognize that it's illegal what they did, that the game could no longer be sold in those countries unless she has some sort of royalty. Like that's probably the most. Like
If it's
it would depend like on like a country by country
if it's
basis.
already if it's already sold in that country, she would have a case of being entitled to compensation.
If the laws
So she'll have
are
to sue
there
him
to
before. If
protect
she
them
has to sue
from
him before,
yeah.
she'll have to sue him before, or she has to wait till after they start selling games in that country. Then she can sue.
It's a mess. Not like a
Yeah,
straight
it is.
It
We need laws to
Yeah,
regulate this AI because there's going to be a lot more copywriting things coming up soon. And
but it's
it,
crazy that you don't own your own voice. Like,
Oh,
it's
you own
scary
it.
because, well,
it's just you have no laws protecting your voice. More so
Yeah,
to say.
and people can profit off it freely without
yeah,
anything you can do. Which is like upset. I'm just as I'm reading more of the article, like there were people who got on her and I guess she closed down her Twitter. But like, to have one person just saying like AI will not replace everyone. Like if you're a good voice actor, you won't be getting replaced. If you're a bad voice actor, then you're getting kicked out. Which to me like completely misses the point of like how this is really going to happen if like it goes all the way you think it is. Like at least in America, the idea is that like if you're good enough, the people will recognize your work. It's not true, bro. Like they're just going to try to maximize profit and minimize expense. And if you can maximize profit by not hiring anybody, regardless of how good you are, like the idea is like they'll never replace Nolan North. Yes, they will. They just haven't figured out how to yet.
Bro, I was just having this conversation this afternoon with my father, and I was saying, as of right now, there's nothing stopping a major news network from firing all their writers and having AI write all the articles. Like,
Yep,
Yeah, they can do that right now.
they could.
nothing stopping them.
Like it's
the only thing I can think of is because of their personality, but that's about it.
But
Well,
I
I
don't even.
mean,
It's
I don't
not
think they
personality.
care.
It's just bottom line. Like I can, like
Yeah,
if I fire all my writers and I have one computer that can write all the articles, and that computer costs, you know, $38 a month to run on on electricity. You know,
yeah.
like
As opposed to the what, few $100,000 you got to pay a Matt Lauer or a Ann Coulter or any of those people.
yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm taking that $38 computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that I'm
yeah.
gonna take that $38 month expense on the computer, and I will eliminate millions of dollars in yearly budgets for employees who write for me. Like
Yeah,
that's
easily.
a.
It'd be the easiest decision they'd ever make.
I mean, if it was easy, it'd already be done. But it's
Yeah,
something that will probably happen over time. 'Cause nobody wants the
and
spotlight put on them. Like, oh, CNN just fired 10,000 employees, replacing with AI. Like that would just
yeah,
go
Uh,
crazy.
I mean, like I
Wait,
said, we don't.
weren't they were busy with the lawsuit? Something like that, similar? Where they cut off, and it's not a news anchor. It's literally a company that ITA or something. ATA, I forgot what it is, but they cut off on a lot of their. They fired a lot of their whatchamacallit
And replace
and
them
made
with
use of
computer.
AI.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happening. I'm sure it, but I'm sure it's not happening like at huge companies in a way that it's bringing spotlight to it. But I'm sure a lot of companies are using AI to, you know, have less staff that they have to employ and pay. I mean, for them it makes sense. I mean, it sucks for the working class person, but for and I'm sure it's going to become a more prevalent issue as time goes on. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, yeah. It's
Crazy.
all right. I mean, it's crazy what YouTube with AI can do, and the more people that use AI, the smarter it becomes. The more that you give, and AI has the ability to search the whole internet. Now, the only thing about AI is that AI can't come up with new ideas because it's limited to what's already out there,
Yes.
and it lacks create. It's not creative at all whatsoever. It just takes everyone else's ideas and just make it into a different version of everyone else's ideas.
Yeah.
So AI still does have a limitation and it doesn't have that creativity. But and companies need to realize that, and you still can't use other people's work to make your AI stronger. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But
Does anyone else
yeah,
have any other thoughts on this? First, AI in gaming.
Nope. It's
I
gonna
think we
affect
Make,
covered it.
every.
and
Yeah.
if
I think
and
it's gonna affect every industry where where we have voice.
I'll
Yeah.
say this: make if you want to use AI for anything, use your AI to make your NPCs better. There you
and it's
go.
the one thing that it should be used for, to make like top tier NPCs.
I'm about to say
NPCs,
take the AI, learn from Call of Duty players,
Or
and
QA
have
testing.
NPCs that like change throughout the game. Like that'd be dope.
I mean,
Just based off of
You
the
can use AI for
yeah.
QA testing too, because I mean, there's only so many. You can hire 10,000 QA testers, but there's still only so many simulations that those 10,000 people can do. Versus if you have
Yeah.
AI along with it, you'll be able
you
to
should.
find.
There's some channels where you can watch where they will have they will program an AI in a video game, and
Yeah,
the AI is supposed to learn how to basically function in that video game. And they
yeah,
leave it running for up 2 or 3 months, and it's crazy what the AI can do after the first month.
yeah, yeah. They get smart pretty fast.
I mean, I like the Nintendo as Nintendo does, like has the most basic know nothing version of it. But like the amiibos, when Smash first came out, like the whole thing was if you put your amiibo and fight against it, it will learn your fight patterns and like adjust to you specifically. And like at the time, that was awesome. Like that's what I like AI to do more often. Like I shouldn't just be able to completely cheese an enemy. They should like, well, hold on. Like every time I pop my head out, he's gonna snipe me. So I'm not popping my head out anymore. I'm gonna throw grenades or shoot cover fire or just do something different.
Hmm.
I think we can close it off.
So that is what we got for topic 3. I'm gonna get my little timestamp. We'll start doing timestamps, so we're gonna have like chapters and try to get us a little bit more legitimate as time goes on. But with that being said, we're gonna roll into our outros and let's see. Let's go with the latest person first. Jubei, where can people find you?
You can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else. Come holler at me on Twitter. Challenge me to a game of Street Fighter. Whatever. I'm always down to clown. You know. Hoping to get some gaming in this week. I will catch y'all next show.
Right, right. And next, Zero. No, I'll say Zero last. He does all the cool stuff.
As you should.
Nappy, where can people find you and what's the next controller review? And can you drop those links in the chat one more time if you haven't done that already?
Yes. So, it's always a pleasure being here today to talk about gaming. If you guys want to find me, you guys can find me on Twitter at Nappy Senshi. You also can find me on YouTube if you type Nappy Senshi in that search bar. Also, I did post a link in the Vitamin G group, in the Vitamin G going live chat or link YouTube link chat.
The general chat?
So you can find those. Huh?
Is it in the general chat?
Yeah,
if not, I'll post it in the general chat. I'll find it.
Oh, it's not in the general chat. It's in the YouTube promotion chat. That's where I posted it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, if you go to YouTube promotion chat, you will find those links there for the 2 controllers I reviewed, which was the Big 1 Blitz controller for Nintendo Switch and PC, and also the one controller that has Hall Effect joysticks, GameSir's GTK G4K controller that has Hall Effect joysticks, mechanical keys, and that works for the PC and Nintendo Switch as well. For my 2 future controllers that I'm going to be reviewing, that is going to come up soon, is FlyDigi just got their new controller, which is called the FlyDigi Vader 3 controller, and this controller has Hall Effect joysticks, mechanical keys, a very low input latency so far as has been tested. It just has a 2 millisecond input latency, which is with wireless connection, which is really fast, and 6 programmable buttons and trigger stoppers that actually work. That turn these triggers into mechanical keys, which is awesome. This is honestly like, why did you just may have made the best controller for PC gaming? And this controller is only $60. And also the long-awaited Beaton Zeus 2 controller. I was waiting for some more features to come out to get supported, but I think it's been long enough, and I've been really like kind to Beaton by postponing the review until it's fully supported. And you can honestly buy the controller on Amazon and all over the world now. So I think it's time for me to release
you're
this
basically
controller
sparing them a 3
reviews.
out of 6 for not having.
Well, for kind of. So I realized that, you know what, the controller could be purchased, the software is available. Let's finish up the review for this controller. So these 2 controllers are going to be the next controllers you see on my YouTube channel.
All right.
And I'll see you guys next time then.
And Omar, host of Game Slayer. Where can people find you?
People can find me at Caravan Culture on Twitter or Exceed, what they call it now. Shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button, and yeah, they also can find me at Game Player every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Right. And for those that don't know, the links of where to find us are in the description of every podcast. But Zero, where can people find you? But more importantly, where can they find us elsewhere?
Well, of course, guys, as always, a pleasure to be here. You can find me 0x386 pretty much everywhere. Should be back online in out and about now that I like think should be slowing down a bit for me. But more importantly, outside of the links and the descriptions where you can find most of our stuff, please, please, please give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe. Pretty much anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast channels, be it Podbean, be it YouTube, be it Spotify, be it Google. Please just give us, a like. We appreciate you because, as always, you could literally be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us. So for that, guys, we will always and always say thank you.
All right. And this is your boy Pharaoh. You will be able to find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre and on any streaming platforms you like to watch people getting wrecked in Madden at the Land of Pharaoh. Once again, just want to thank everyone for coming out and watching us live. For those who are catching us later, we appreciate you listening. Just please do us a favor, hit that like button, drop some comments in the chat, and let us know what you think. And if you really think we're really doing some good work, and you know people that don't really like to watch live, let them know about them other avenues they can to get a taste of our podcast. We really appreciate it. Thank you for coming out this week and getting your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out.